What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the very first episode of Everybody Eats Trading. My name is Mike, and my goal here is to help investors become successful traders, or as I like to say, help everybody eat. Each week I'll be presenting possible opportunities by going over stock and chart analysis to help your portfolio grow and hopefully your knowledge as a trader. Since this is the very first video, I do want to kind of cover the basics of how to set up an account and what you should be doing to set up an account. Now, before I get started, I think it's important I highlight my background as a trader. I think it's important you understand I'm not some big expert. I haven't been doing this for years. It's just simply not the case. I started trading like a lot of people did back when the market crashed last year in March. And I jumped in, head first. Started with $1,000 and then added $1,500 to have a total of about $2,500 starting out with. Really, the only thing I knew about trading or investing was buy low, sell high, and try to find good opportunities and get in early. But that's it. I had no special training. I didn't take any classes, didn't read any books up until that time. Now, growing up, I've always been a bit of a risk taker, or gambler, so to say. Love playing cards. Eventually, my game of choice became Texas Hold'em. So, taking risk and risk management isn't new to me. So, shout out to all my Texas Hold'em players out there. You guys really helped me transition that into investing, and I'll kind of explain that a little bit later. Now, initially, I got very lucky at the beginning. I hit it big with Nikola, whatever, I still made money, and a couple other companies, and actually I was able to run my account up to about a little under $8,000. So of course, at that time, I'm thinking I'm the shit. I'm the new wolf on Wall Street right now. And then of course, I slowly lost $2,700. So that was a reality check. So then I had to refocus. I started tracking what was working, what wasn't working, created a new game plan. And even though I didn't hit my 10K goal that I set for myself for the end of the year, I did hit it 7 days later on January 7th. Now during this time I was talking with other new investors, as well as sharing my journey on social media, sharing my progress. And little did I know it, but my research and my opinion was actually helping out other people as well. So after enough people continued to come to me and ask for opinions, I just figured why not start a YouTube channel and try to see who else I could help. So that's literally it. 100% this channel, Everybody Eats Trading, is created for you guys. I hope you're excited. I know I'm excited for this new journey that I'm taking. I hope you're excited for the new journey that you guys are going to be taking if you're a new trader, if you're a new investor. The only thing that I'm going to ask for is some support, so just please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. That way we can go ahead and help others, and main thing, help everybody eat, right? So let's go ahead and jump into how to create an account if you don't already know. I know, right? Real basic, but let's just go through the basics first and then we'll get into the good stuff. If you're a brand new investor, there's a few questions you need to ask yourself before starting. Now, question number one, are you going to be a long-term investor or are you going to be a trader, short-term trader? Now, a long-term investor, you're generally looking to hold your positions long-term, anywhere from 3 to 5 to 10 years, even longer, right? If you're a short-term trader, you're looking to get in and out. So you can be day trading, you can be, swing trading, anywhere from a week to a couple weeks to a couple months. So as a trader, you're just literally trying to get in and get out for some quick profit. The next question you want to ask yourself is, what kind of account do you want to open? You can easily identify that by what's your purpose for investing. Now, if you're a long-term investor, a good idea would probably be to go something with either a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. Both of those just generally help you save money on taxes. And generally, any type of long-term gain tax is around 15%, compared to if you have a cash account and it's short-term gains, then those gains are going to get taxed at about 24%. So there are some slight differences in between the two. I'll let you kind of do your own research on that, kind of see what best fits for you. But of course, if you got any questions, just go ahead and drop those down in the comments below. Now, if you want to have access to your money, then the best type of account to open would just be a standard cash account. This way you can put money in and then make a profit, and then you can take it out and use it for whatever you need. The important thing to remember here is any profit that you take on a position is gonna get taxed at a higher rate. So keep that in mind for the year. Any position that you take profit on, you're going to get taxed on. And then also kind of vice versa. If you sell out on a loss, you can actually kind of write that off for your taxes for the year. But that's just some other side GWIZ information for you. There you go. Now, taxes vary depending on the state that you live in, but generally short-term taxes get taxed at your ordinary tax rate. But once you start pulling over 130 or 140,000, that's when you get bumped into that next, the higher tax bracket. I probably got the exact numbers on that wrong, but you get the gist. The more money you make, the more money Uncle Sam's gonna want to take. Is what it is. So now what? You're set up and ready to go, right? Almost. I mean, yes, you can easily start buying and trading whatever you want, but to be a successful trader, you gotta start looking for good opportunities and looking for good setups. There has to be a reason that you're entering your position or your play. If things go south, you have an exit plan to minimize your losses. If things go as expected, then you have an exit plan so that you maximize your gains and that you don't slowly let them dwindle away when you hold for too long. The more you know about a company, the more you know about the industry that it's in, the more you familiarize yourself with the stock price movement and how the catalyst affects it, whether it's good, whether it's bad, the more successful of a trader you'll be for that specific stock and more relative stocks in that industry. So along with knowing the company and the industry that it's in, you're gonna wanna start learning how to read chart patterns and using other indicating tools as well. Simple one that I like to use without getting into too much detail would be candlestick charting instead of using the line graph. Candlesticks help you understand the strength of buying or selling in a certain time frame compared to the line graph just telling you that it's going up or down. So using the candlesticks, you know who's in control of the price action, right? Whether the bulls are in control or whether the bears are in control pushing it down. So all this gives you more indicators of what's going on with the stock, whether it's a good opportunity or whether it's not. Later I'll go over other indicators that can help you be successful. If there's any specific indicators you want me to cover, go ahead and drop a comment down below, let me know, and I'll get to it. Now that you have all of this information, you can go back and make a more sound investment or trade, but there's still one piece of the puzzle that's missing that's still very important, and that piece is risk management. Guys, no matter how much work you put in, sometimes the market still does whatever it wants to do, and you just need to be prepared, have a good exit strategy when things don't go as planned. I know, that's a lot, but that's exactly what I created this page for, to break everything down, to break down the process by giving you examples each week, so it's easy for you guys to understand and eventually become self-sufficient traders yourself. Now that we finally got all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the plays of the week. The very first play that I want to talk about, or the very first company that I want to talk about, is Immersion Corporation, ticker symbol IMMR. Now, Immersion Corporation is a digital touch technology company. Looking at their webpage here, looks pretty nice. Scroll on down. their goal, right? Our goal is to enable touch everywhere in the digital world. We have experts dedicated to developing new and valuable touch experiences for our customers and partners to bring to market. Our holistic approach, delivering the best possible haptic experience every step of the way, means we'll help you create amazing products. Now, the big thing with this company is their new haptic technology, and it's just basically in a whole bunch of technology. They're in video game consoles, they're in gaming systems, mobile phones, as well as household appliances, and as well as automobiles, right? Now, the big play here is their haptic technology is now in the PlayStation 5 controllers. So this is huge, right? If you think about it, PlayStation 5 has been selling out since it came out back in November. And what's even bigger than that is that Immersion gets a royalty from every controller sold. So I definitely found somewhere that, here we go, that in November that PlayStation 5 had the most sales for a company. So that's just ridiculous. So if you think about that, you know, Immersion is going to be getting royalties off of all of these sales, and none of that has been input or has been calculated into their financials as of yet. So their next earnings is going to be March 4th. So I can definitely see a nice run up from now until then. And then once that earning comes out, I can definitely see them, you know, projecting, forecasting also. So I can definitely continue to see a nice run happening. So price target wise, I'm thinking anywhere between $18 to $20. And as an entry point right now, anywhere in the $12 range, I think is really good. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. Looking at the chart on the 4-hour time frame, you can definitely see that it's had a nice little pullback, but about to possibly find resistance on the, or not resistance, but find support around the 50-day moving average. Now there's definitely some support around the $12 range. Again, anywhere in the $12 I believe is a good time to buy. Now I always like to use multi-level analysis, right? So I look at the 4 hours, I'm looking at the moving averages. I forgot to mention the RSI, but the RSI looks really good. It's you know, down in the 44% range. You never want to try to buy anything that's high. That's generally overbought. You always want to try to catch something when it's low on the RSI, when it's undersold. So again, multi-level analysis. So let's go ahead and look at the daily chart action. And if you scroll back, we can still see that this has been in a nice upward climb for a while. So this pullback resting nicely on the 20-day moving average, and also on the RSI over here, looking really good. So again, really high on Immersion corporations, and the play here is either running up to earnings, or you can play the earnings play, which is completely separate. But either or, I believe, is going to be a good way to go. But now would definitely be a good time to enter. All right, now second play that I want to cover for this week is MP Materials, ticker symbol MP. Taking a look at their website, MP Materials owns and operates Mountain Pass, the only integrated rare earth mining and processing site in North America. Our success will drive the onshore of jobs, national security, and carbon redirect future. Now, in a nutshell, they're the only company that can mine these rare earth materials, and why that's important is because these rare earth materials are needed for electrical vehicles, batteries, cell phones. So a lot of electrical components use these rare earth materials. And going back down, scrolling around, looking at their leadership, something else that I want to really point out, leveling the playing field, right? So today, China dominates the rare earth industry, producing over 80% of the global supply. So that means China's making a killing over there while everybody else is just getting nothing. So for this to be the first rare earth company in North America, that's going to be huge, guys. And especially as much as, you know, America's trying to bring everything back in. I mean, it's nothing but a gold mine, even though they don't mine for gold. But it's literally a pick and shovel play for if you're trying to get into the EV sector, right? Now, a pick and shovel play is basically like when the gold rush happened back in the day. You know, people try to come out and go get gold. Well, very few did. But the people that struck it rich were the salespeople that were selling the picks and shovels and all that stuff. So here, if you can't get in on those EV plays, here's a company that's going to be funding all these EV plays, if not necessarily funding directly, but is going to be a part of these EV companies. So, you know, ground floor opportunity to get into. Okay, now looking at the stock chart, we can tell that same thing looking at the daily. It's on a nice little uptrend. Did reach highs of 40.74 before having a nice little pullback here. And again, that's kind of what we want, right? We want that good entry point. You don't want to buy something while it's, you know, running up, because it always has a pullback. So you're looking for that good entry point on a pullback, and as here we can see that it's pulled back, and there's multiple support here at the $28 range, $28.50 range, because it came back and tested it here, and then now it's testing it again. And as you can see, here's the 50-day moving average. So looking real good there as a strong area of support. You want to look for strong areas of support to buy, and then that way now we're trying to hope it gets back up to that $40 range, right? 40 or more. Looking at the RSI is looking really good. It's kind of right in the middle at the 45, so you know, good also. 4 hour, you know, looking at multi-charts, because you want to just get the big picture, and then you also want to get what's going on in close. Same thing, you can kind of see here that the RSI is way undersold, so that's very good. MACD, haven't really covered that, but MACD, the volume has kind of been going away. But like I was saying before, same thing, we have this nice support right at the 28.87 range. You see it's here again. So doesn't always have to, but it's looking like a real good support that it could possibly bounce off of again. So again, my second favorite pick of the week, MP Materials. Honestly, price target wise, I believe that it's going to have a good earnings due to, you know, them getting the ball rolling with their mining company. But that still doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to go either way. So short term, you know, we're looking to get back up to that $40 range. But as a long-term investment, this is going to be a great company, guys. This is something you definitely want to hold on to for the long run. Okay, and for my third play for this week, it's going to be CleanSpark, ticker symbol CLSK. Now, CleanSpark has been one of my favorite companies since I started investing. I've at least swing traded this company about 3-4 times already. But overall, they have a really good business model, solid leadership. So it should be, and overall it's a great long-term investment. Now short-term though, looking for the trade, it's also presenting a good opportunity. But so let's go ahead and take a look at, you know, the company itself, right? All right, so real quick, we'll just look at their products. They got the MVSO, which that's basically their software. They use it as software as a service. That's what SaaS stands for. Then they got the Impulse, and then the switch gear, right? So all of this basically pulls together to create their mini grid system. So what is a mini grid? Let's scroll on down. So here's a mini grid, right? A localized group of electricity sources and storage or batteries that normally operate connected to the traditional grid. A microgrid can also disconnect to island away from the traditional grid as economy or physical conditions dictate. So in a sense, what that's basically saying is if here in California we get rolling blackouts, something that they would be able to do would be to pull away from the main grid if that power outage is going on, and then they have these other little mini sections that they can pull power from. Generally, sometimes energy storage, but this way you don't have to be 100% dependent on the main grid. Now, other things to kind of highlight, they're global, right? They got contracts that are popping up all over the place. And then they're also working with the military, so they have military contracts, and then which you would think the other two would kind of trump it, but they're also kind of working with Tesla as well. Now there's really not too many specifics as what the partnership is, but if later down the line this comes out to be, a huge partnership that they're, using their software with Tesla's battery systems, then you can only imagine that Tesla following is going to come and the stock price is going to rise. So, all right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. So currently they're sitting around 26.39 after a nice pullback from reaching all-time highs of 42.60. And again, that's kind of what we want, right? We don't want to jump on a wave that's kind of already going, because any time now it could crash. What you want to do is you want to find that nice little bottom where it settles at, see that momentum start up again, and then you want to get in and ride that wave from there. So looking at the daily chart, right, it's had that pullback. It's bounced off, what is this right here? Bounced about 24.12, kind of bounced off of here twice, right? Let's go take a look at the 4 hour. So we can see that it bounced off of here twice. So that's pretty good support. And then looking all the way back over here, we can say that that same area was support for this area over here, right? So pretty solid support that we can lean on or depend on. Does that always mean that it's gonna stay there? No, it doesn't. So again, always have risk management. Make sure you set your stop losses. Make sure you have a good plan to get out if this does not go as planned. But looking at the RSI, RSI on the 4 hour is not oversold. MACD, the volume has come down a bit, but let's go back to the daily, take a look at the daily. Same thing, RSI is looking real good. Still showing support, possible support right here on the 50-day moving average. So looks like a prime opportunity for entry, knowing that we can possibly run back up to 42 or higher. And honestly, I'm expecting it to run higher because their earnings are coming out, and they should have really good earnings with all this business that they've been doing, all these new contracts. So I expect it to have another nice run. Now, does that mean that it's going to break 40 and continue to? No, we can go back up and hit 42 and bounce back down again, like it's already shown that it's done. But just things to think about. So that's my third company, that's my third play, CleanSpark, my top 3 plays of the week. Alright guys, that's all I got for this episode. Man, what an experience. I hope you guys gained a lot from this. I appreciate you guys if you stuck around to the end. Really appreciate the support. If you can, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. For new traders, if you're looking for a broker, who you should go with, I'm gonna leave a link down below so that you can go ahead and sign up with Webull, one of my favorite brokerages. But again, before I leave you guys, I have to remind you, please practice proper risk management. Have a plan for if these plays do not go as expected. Other than that, have a great week trading, and let's eat.